Hello, good evening. Welcome to a fresh edition of Game On here on News Central TV. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Delighted to be here once again. This show comes to you Mondays to Fridays at 10 to 11 p.m. And we're always thrilled for you to join us because we do know that there are quite a lot of fans in Nigeria and outside who make it a point of duty to follow this show. So to that, we are particularly grateful, and we assure you that we will continue to bring you the highest quality of programming right here on News Central TV. It's Thursday, which means that we have a particularly well-known face in the studio. Wale Adigun joins us tonight. Wale Adigun, of course, is a broadcaster, podcaster, and a almost semi-permanent feature here, looking particularly dapper tonight. But Wale, I don't know what's going on, but thank you so much for coming through. And of course, our own Udoka Ujoku sports anchor here at News Central comes through as well. So I have a really good panel of two wise men who will be breaking down some of the local and international sports news that have been going on over the last 24 hours. And speaking of sport news, there are matches currently going on in European football, some in the English Premier League, some also in the Spanish La Liga. And it has been very, very interesting, to put it very mildly. Former African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, has been in the thick of the action, and he has also been in the thick of the goals, scoring one and forcing an own goal as Atletico Madrid are handing out a battering to Barcelona. Surprising result. And also Arsenal are in the mix there, away at Brentford, trying to increase that gap between them and the chasing Manchester City, who are slowly but surely trying to close the gap between them and the Gunners. We'll be bringing you updates on those games in just a few minutes, but opening statements from you guys. Thank you so much for coming through. Ademola Lookman, he seems to have been an absolutely inspired buy for Atletico Madrid. I mean, he's barely had, this is probably just his second match, and already his third match, I beg your pardon. And of course, we're seeing him already on match posters that you don't normally see on social media, you know, and he's also putting in the work, being particularly as brilliant as possible, scoring goals, putting himself about a really, really good acquisition by Atletico Madrid. So far, so good. Yeah. And it probably feeds to what you've been saying, Wale, about how top players do not go to Turkey, because Turkey was rumored to be his #1 destination, but somehow, somewhere, Atletico Madrid came through, and he's playing like the very top of football.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. When you play in a world-class environment, there's a tendency that you can raise the roof, you can raise the ceiling, and Lookman is about to find out with what is to Atletico. It's just for 30 million, but I think that has potential to be the best value for money signing Atleti have made since they got Rodri, you know, years ago. He's hit the ground running, wonderful performance today. See, sometimes sporting directors, they are the prize.
See, look, you're speaking from a place of bias now.
Yeah, no, not bias, because a lot of people might think Diego Simeone bought him. No, it was Matteo Lemani, the new sporting director at Atletico Madrid, who snapped him up, and that was a smart acquisition because you can see once again, even in the loss to Betis last weekend in La Liga, it was good. And tonight against in the Copa del Rey, he has absolutely been central to how Barcelona have been destroyed in the first 45.
Yeah, but Udoka, you must also continue to give plaudits to a player who has become the first Nigerian player, probably even the first, some are saying the first African, we'll still check regarding that, but the first Nigerian player to play in the Bundesliga, the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, and the Italian Serie A, and he's showing exactly why he's regarded among a small crew of people are probably the most technically proficient Nigerian footballer that we've seen in the last decade. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for Ademola Lookman, he has shown quality off and on the pitch. He's been a very, very calm soldier when it comes to playing football. And right there at Atletico Madrid, I actually wish the AFCON, or rather, this move came before the AFCON. Then we're seeing more firepower from Ademola Lookman. But going over to Atletico Madrid is a plus for him, plus for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and also a plus for Africa as a whole, because it shows that we can have African players play top football across the world. And I remember Wale saying something like, if you're not playing in Europe, then don't regard yourself as a top player. So we need to see more of this.
Wale has dropped so many quotable quotes. I mean, the most infamous one is the fact that top players don't play in the Turkish Super League.
World-class players.
I was actually heartbroken when I heard from the batch they were going to get Ademola Lookman. I said a big no to that move, and I'm glad Atletico Madrid came through and saved us from that stress.
I'm just so happy for him. So far, how far he has come. Didn't exactly hit the high notes at Fulham. Remember that infamous Panenka?
Yeah.
Also at Everton as well. Didn't pull up too many trees. He did well at RB Leipzig, but I don't know why he was never retained. But it is what it is.
Just to chip in, he's still not firing at full cylinder yet. Remember, he's not been able to get a lot of games at Atalanta. In fact, there was a statistic before this game. Lookman ranked 17th for minutes in the Atletico Madrid squad in terms of minutes played this season.
And he's just joining after.
Exactly.
That's his third game.
It's not even up to speed yet. So now imagine when it's fully up to speed.
As a proper preseason.
It's going to be a menace.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about domestic football in Nigeria here, and let's talk about the upcoming Niger Delta Games, second edition. Anticipation continues to build, putting the finishing touches on major sporting facilities in Benin City. But we'll take a quick break now. We'll be right back with the show. Yeah, welcome back. You're watching Game On here on News Central TV. Apologies for that quick break. To sort out a few things, but we're back now, so let's get right to it. Anticipation is building across the 9 Niger Delta states ahead of the second Niger Delta Games, and Edo State, the host state, is putting finishing touches on major sporting facilities within the Benin City, with upgrades at the Samuel Ikpefan Stadium and the Wire Road Sports Center reportedly nearing 90% completion. Backed by the Niger Delta Development Commission and other state partners, these renovations are aimed at delivering international standard venues and creating a lasting boost for youth development and regional sports. With over 3,000 athletes and hundreds of coaches expected to compete across 16 sports, the Games torch already making a symbolic journey across participating states, and the stage is set for what promises to be a landmark event. Meanwhile, speaking about the Games torch itself, the ongoing tour is stopped over today in Umuahia, capital city of Abia State. The torch was brought to Abia State by from Akwa Ibom State by one of the Games ambassadors, Joseph Edidiong, who's a weightlifter from Akwa Ibom State, and it was received by the Abia State Commissioner for Sports, Nwabilo Ananaba. Ananaba then led the procession to the government house, where they were received by the governor, Alex Otti, who was represented by the secretary to the Abia State government and also accompanied by Pastor Caleb Ajagba as the chief of staff of the government house as well. Now, Mary, the secretary to the government also said that the state has made necessary preparations to draw a decent performance at the game starting from on the 20th of February up onto the 27th. He also charged Abia State athletes to compete with courage and win fairly. Now, let me come to you, Wale, very quickly. I'm looking at, it's just days to the start of the tournament itself, and we're hearing that we're hearing facilities are nearing 90% completion. Should we be worried?
I don't know. I mean, I even find it...
But that's just 8 days away, and we're hearing that it's 90% completion.
You know, sometimes I can be some of my comments. I find it strange that a regional, a sub-regional competition is getting a lot of talk time. I think that they should just do their job in silence, and But Edo State have got facilities on ground already. Maybe not at world-class standards, but 90% is good to go. Have you forgotten the last sports festival? Oh yeah. That we kept on
we kept talking,
the percentages started,
from 65 to 77.
So if they are saying 90% with maybe around a week to the competition, then I think that is fair enough. What we want to see is not about facilities. I've already said it. What we want to see, because all the facilities are not world class.
Yeah, the facilities are also adequate. Yeah.
What we want to see is talent. What I want to see from the Niger Delta Games that gets a lot of PR these days is to see the success stories that consistently should come out from this. How much talent are they contributing to
the feed meal of Nigerian sports?
Of Nigerian sports. That is what I'm concerned about. So I mean, I also like the fact that facilities are being, and that's the upside to hosting tournaments for states. It means
especially the Niger Delta Games, because the NDDC make it a point of duty to upgrade facilities for host states. Yeah, and we know that it's a wealthy region in terms of in terms 13% to all the region goes a long way.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that it's not only about hosting, create fun. I think that the South should be having fantastic facilities. I know they built one for table tennis last year.
That's in
Bayelsa also.
Yeah. They're also building a so-called Olympic Stadium, 35,000 capacity.
In Bayelsa as well. And I know they also got an Italian coach as well too. Yeah. So they have what it takes to be able to, have world-class facilities. But I'm not sure they're doing it. But maybe these Niger Delta Games will now galvanize them. But also we don't know. I've always said it. I mentioned last week. Is the Niger Delta Games, is it the long-run thing? Because the way they are rushing these Niger Delta Games, we had one last year. Yeah, they have another one this year. Ordinarily, there's nothing wrong in it being another tournament. Should it?
Hoping it becomes consistent because these are games that we get to unveil talents who can also help us when bigger tournaments, the championships come up, the likes of the Olympic Games. We need this kind of events to help harness these talents. And talking about facility upgrades, maybe it was a bad thing I went to Morocco because now I have seen world-class facilities. Now we talk about facility upgrades, and when I get to see what we have in the country, I shake my head and I say, look, we are nowhere near the world. Talking about even having a class. Let's just leave it as facilities for helping to harness these talents.
So we shouldn't say world-class, we shouldn't say top class. Just say we have facilities.
Yeah, we have facilities.
No appellations, no prefixes.
Leave it that way. We have facilities that can help with competitions in Africa.
Well, I do remember, I have it on good authority that there was a FIFA World Cup where, while the opening game was being played inside, the stadium was still being painted outside. So 90%, Wale, like you said, might not be bad. Right?
Nigeria started 90% is don't win.
But there's also a very interesting cultural sport currently going on in Arugungu in Kebbi State. Today was day 2 of the 61st Arugungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival in Kebbi State. Today there were captivating polo games, archery displays, and competitive horse and camel races that drew large crowds. The festival continues tomorrow with vibrant cultural performances, traditional music and dance presentations, alongside agricultural exhibitions showcasing the region's heritage and creativity. Farmers and local producers were also displaying crops, livestock, and innovative farming techniques to thousands of visitors, fostering community pride and encouraging local economic engagement. Now, the star of this particular festival has to be the fishing, of course, whereby hundreds of able-bodied young men plunge into the river in a quest to pick out or basically capture the largest possible Nile perch, which is one of the largest freshwater fishes in the world and in Africa, which is usually a wonderful competition. Everybody wants to see that one. So that's what everybody is looking forward to, which is usually the highlight of the festival. Today, there was also a goat skinning competition. Imagine who could skin a goat the fastest. Yeah, of course, you see these traditional things. Those are hyenas, muzzled hyenas with their trainers. It's quite a cultural festival, spectacle. And I didn't believe that, Udoka, you did a report on camel racing in the northeastern part of Kenya. That was last year. Yeah, so these kind, and you're also working something on horse racing in Algeria as well. The value of this kind of cultural, the value of these cultural festivals cannot be overemphasized.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talk about owning our own sports. Let's stop trying to copy or do better than the Americans who have American football. Let's come back to our own sports. The likes of Ayo, Ludo, Dambe.
See foreigners come down here and fight them.
They enjoy sports like this. I mean, you also see ram fighting, like you mentioned, the goat skinning. Let's come back home and invest in sports like this. Then we just might put our name on the map out there, and people can come in to invest in sports like this and take away the likes of the copy sports that I call them, in quotes.
Okay, well,
I think we also had rally. There was Motor Rally.
Motor Rally, yes.
Motor Rally. Yes. Yeah, I think you guys also have an update from the ongoing game at the GTEC Stadium between Brentford and Arsenal. I think the scoreline has changed. Yeah?
Happy times are here.
Happy times. Arsenal now leading by a lone goal. The goal scorer?
Noni
Madueke putting Arsenal ahead in that particular contest. If Arsenal end up winning this game, they will now move back 6 points ahead of Manchester City with 13 matches, I believe. 12 matches to go. After this still to be played. So
if Arsenal, put it this way, if Arsenal wins the league, New Central will not contain everyone in this.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Is that bad?
Yeah,
is that bad?
Because the MD is even an Arsenal fan.
Oh God! Yeah. Oh wow! I'm hoping. But there's also Atletico Madrid who is also doing damage to Barcelona's Copa del Rey aspirations as well. Yep. It's 4-0 right now. Ademola Lookman on the score sheet and also forcing an own goal. So yeah, he's really doing well as well. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about something that broke earlier today, and it has been basically causing consternation amongst quite a few people. It's something it's old news because it was in the pipeline from last year. There were whispers, there were rumors, but now it's been confirmed because Nigeria's track and field program has been rocked with the revelation that another promising athlete has ditched the nation for a foreign country. And according to reports, Favour Ashe, one of Nigeria's fastest sprinters in recent times, has now pledged his allegiance to the Gulf state of Qatar. He said he found the Nigerian athletics environment unfavorable. Favour says the environment is unfavorable to his career. So now he's heading for a country where he would be well treated with respect and rewarded for his efforts. That's according to those close to him. Ashe was reported to be particularly embittered by the treatment he received during the last National Sports Festival in Abeokuta last year, where he was disqualified from the 100-meter final. He was also reported to have had a very serious altercation with the Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olapade, over the payment of his training grant. He has a personal best of 9.79 seconds and has yet to even open his season in 2026. And the revelation comes on the heels of the defection of track star Favour Ofili, who also switched her allegiance to Turkey last year. Now, this is a major blow as far as I'm concerned for Nigerian athletics, Wale Adudoka, because this athlete in question, Favour Ashe, is an absolute phenomenon. And there are those who will tell you that he has not even scratched he's not even beginning to scratch anywhere close near his potential. And losing him at such a young age to Qatar because of mismanagement, let's put it that way, it's a major blow to Nigerian sports. And you get the impression that the authorities are not really bothered because they believe that with 200 million people, you can always find the next Favour Ashe. And with a huge diaspora, you can always find the next best thing. Wale?
It's a shame. It doesn't work that way. Can we also add that Ashe had an altercation with the DG at that sports festival as well?
Yes, I did say that.
Apart from the old bonus training grants thing. And this is... It's basically contrasting fortunes because just yesterday, Favour Ashe, who is a product of Making of Champions, MOC sealed a 3-year deal with a telecom firm for the next 3 seasons, right? And the day after, a product of MOC defects to Qatar. It's really, really contrasting. I've not been able to wrap my head around it, but I knew it was coming. This was a tsunami that was coming. A couple of months ago, after Favour Ofili defected to Turkey, I spoke to one of the insiders and he said, you know what, Favour Ashe already approached me and said, hey, I'm considering this as well. Maybe not Turkey, but I'm considering something else. So it was always coming. And it's a shame. It's a slap on our face that an athlete, like you said, who has not even reached his peak. It's 9.79. We're talking off the air and you said, this guy has the Nigeria with the most sub 10s.
Yeah, also that was equaled by
Koinsola
Ajayi. He had the most sub 10s. And Koinsola Ajayi ran most of his sub 10s in 1 year. Now, Favour Ashe spread his over a few years. And there are those who tell you that, look, sprinters never really reach their peak until they're 29, 30.
Oh, yeah.
This boy is 22, 23, and he's dropping sub 10s like you and I dropping stones into a well. And look at the sad part is that, you look at this, and he's not the only one, because we had a certain Sunday Akiton, who's also made the move to Qatar. And I have it on good authority that there is like a small, I don't know how to describe them, there's a small group of people who are going from state to state, within that Ogun State, Edo State, Delta State axis, looking for quality athletes to recruit for foreign countries. And it's a massive blow for Nigeria if we're allowing this kind of thing to happen unchecked underneath our noses.
Very true. Both favors now are not doing us any favors at all, as they've gotten to dump Nigeria for other countries. And more will come, like you rightly mentioned.
I'm really sorry to cut you, but we have the good authority that Brentford have equalized. It's 1-1 now.
That's why my voice is that's why I'm a bit low.
That explains it. Okay, that explains it. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if I was in their shoes, I would also leave Nigeria for another country because we don't pay attention to, like you rightly mentioned, we believe that we have a plethora of talents to pick from, a wealth of talents to pick from, because we feel like soldier go, soldier come, barracks remain. We need to stop this attitude of letting our best legs go. We need to invest in these legs, help them improve better, and at the next Olympics, we can see them winning medals, getting to the podium. For example, the next Olympics in early 2028, I won't be shocked if I see Favour Philly and Favour Ashe on the podium.
It's a matter of time. So what we're hearing is Qatar actually looking to build a strong 4x100 team on Africans, especially on Nigerian talent. And they won't be the first.
So this year alone.
You remember Sawa and Nasa?
This year alone, we've got 3 Nigerians. Maybe you guys don't know.
Exactly.
Jabba Kamis, Farouk Aremu, Promise Egbe. Young athletes. I think Promise won the National Youth Games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those 3 athletes already have even defected to Qatar.
So while this
in
is
January,
can you stop these athletes from moving? Because Favour Ashe was supposedly having an altercation with the National Sports Commission over a $5,000 training grant. Get this. In Qatar, he's reported to be earning between $4,000 and $5,000 a month.
See, Tunde,
we've not talked about the incentives.
We're here together on Tuesday.
When Tony said, hold on. He's also supposed to get a Qatari passport, which allows him to travel almost to over 100 countries, 111 countries, visa-free. He's not going to be queuing up at embassies like he does in Nigeria to travel. Issues of travel and being taken care of, health management. So can you stop these athletes from moving?
You can't, especially the fact that Ashe is an elite athlete. You like it or not. It might not be top, but I think it's just a step below being an elite athlete. You know, and there are perks to all of these things. But we're here on Tuesday, just 2 days ago, when we talked about the NSC disbursing how much? 200 million.
Yes.
And we made it look like it was bigger. I converted it to dollars. I told you it's $147,000 that the 26 athletes are going to share. And Tony, we sang their praises to the heavens. And these athletes, New Zealand is giving athletes $50,000 annually. New Zealand as training grants. I'm not even talking about the United States. I'm talking New Zealand. I know these countries are richer than us in terms of the economics. But if these athletes see these things and they believe that they can do better, they're going to leave. You know, we're not making the environment conducive for them. Look at what happened at the sport festival last year. All because of his bib, he was denied. Someone who has worked for this, he was denied a chance at the final. And in fact, he knew it was his fault. And he told the DG. DG came down and asked, whose fault? He admitted this was my fault. And guess what? The DG told him that they should disqualify him. So all of these things, they add up.
Okay, so
they add up.
Udoka, you look at racing for Nigeria, competing for Nigeria. Yeah. Nigeria is such an interesting country that you do well. You can earn a national honor. You can earn $100,000. You can earn land. And who knows, with a young, personable, good-looking fellow like that, he can earn endorsement deals probably in the range of maybe 20 to 30 or even 50 million annually. Yeah. Is it being penny wise and pound foolish?
Not at all. Like you asked Wally about if we can actually stop these athletes from traveling, leaving the country. I think we can.
Excuse me.
If we put the right foot forward, if we do the right things for these athletes, we can keep them back in the country and help them do better. Now, for Favour Ashe, I do not think it is penny wise, pound foolish. If he has to go, let him go and get better treatment from Qatar. Because come rain, come shine, the same attitude will continue. Because it will come to a point when we would have comments like, now we bring you up. Who are you to talk back at us? We brought you up to this level, so why are you not being loyal? So if these guys want to leave, please let them go.
Tunde, your question is basically asking, can we stop NPFL players from leaving the NPFL? No, you can't.
From going to Libya?
Because the NPFL itself is not buoyant enough to keep its players. Same thing happens with the AFN. The AFN is not capable enough to keep its very best athletes. And this is a dangerous precedent. Remember, when we discussed Favour Philly, I said something here, that other athletes are also watching.
Yes, they are.
Favour Ashe was watching. He has acted upon it.
So
trust me, there are more athletes who also... Oh, you thought those athletes who were at the MOC events yesterday have not seen this news?
So,
they've seen it.
And to be honest, a lot of them actually know Favour Ashe because
he came through the system.
So the question is now, with everything going on economically in Nigeria now, with rent crisis, cost of living crisis, this is a young man who is not even 25, earning 7 million naira a month. That's just his basic salary. And in his Qatar, it's tax-free.
Yeah.
We're not talking about his bonuses. We're not talking about training grants. We're not talking about anything else.
However, that is based in the US. It's not even a home-based athlete.
Yeah.
No,
Fevershe is based in the US,
it's not
isn't
based
it?
in the US.
Oh, I thought it was based in the US.
He did have some issues with law enforcement.
Oh, yeah,
last year,
yeah.
which saw him being ejected from the US. He's not been able to go back there since then. And that's why he probably considered everything and said that his future was best served in Qatar. Well, we're hoping that the authorities can stem this growing tide of Nigeria's best athletes defecting to other countries for greener pastures. I know Qatar is supposedly a desert, but what they're offering is definitely way better than what we have here in Nigeria for our very best athletes. Right, let's talk domestic football, gentlemen. Let's talk Nigeria Premier Football League. Well, actually, the NLO, or the NNL, I beg your pardon, the NPFL has also fined Wikki Tourists, but that's not even the story. It's Aqua United. They've signed 5 new players ahead of the NNL resumption on the 14th of February, despite an existing NFF directive barring registrations over unpaid debts to former players. Now, the club had previously been under a transfer ban after defaulting on a judgment sum ordered in February 2025. The Players' Status and Arbitration Committee temporarily lifted the ban based on a payment proposal that sources said was never fulfilled. Now, the move has sparked concerns over regulatory compliance, with stakeholders questioning whether the NFF will allow the new registrations. The decision now is seen as a critical test of enforcement and discipline within Nigerian football, with potential implications for contractual and arbitration adherence across the league. Now, this one is very clear, Wale. Aqua United were owing some players. They were giving a payment plan. So the ban was their transfer ban was lifted. Now we're hearing on good authority that even the payment plan was not adhered to. Yeah. Payments have not been paid, yet they've signed new players. So ordinarily, in good sense, and in what is right and just, is that these registrations should not be allowed to stand.
Yeah, it shouldn't. And it begs the question: are Aqua United different from the others? Why have they been allowed to do this? Then did they sign free agents as well? Because I want to believe that the transfer window in Nigeria is closed. Because I want to believe also that it's an alignment with the January transfer window. Yeah, globally. So have they signed free agents as well? I know that a lot of players left Aqua United in January. One of them went to Tanzania. One went to Atlant. So Paul Ofo, who is the coach at Aqua United, has been trying to rebuild the team, and they've started the NNL season really well. I think they're top of their table as second half resumes on Sunday. But the player status and the NFF, this is a big test for them. They need to come out and let Nigerians and the football community know if Aqua United have contravened the rules, and if they have, then necessary sanctions should be taken. I think Aqua United have just say, we don't care whose ox is God here. We just need to upgrade our squad.
No, we're just being hasty now. We don't know what kind of arrangement they've reached with the NFF.
We don't know, like I said. But I think Aqua are acting on the fact that the ban was lifted.
Or the presumption that, yes.
Yeah, the ban was lifted. But like we've said,
conveniently leaving out
the payment plan that they made, they've not adhered to it. So we'll wait and see, because this also could be seen as unfair advantage.
Very true.
To those who are also competing for promotion places in their group.
Well, let's talk continental football now. We heard that the Nigeria Premier Football League has rescheduled Rivers United's outstanding matches following the club's exit from the CAF Champions League. The league aims to reintegrate Rivers United into domestic competition and maintain competitive balance for the ongoing season. Key fixtures include Kwara United versus Rivers United on the 18th of February, Rivers United versus Barao FC on the 25th of February, Rivers United versus El Academy Warriors on the 4th of March, and Shooting Stars hosting Rivers United on the 12th of March, while Niger Tornadoes will also face them on the 19th of March. The NPFL has also called on clubs, officials, and state associations to ensure smooth logistics for the revised schedule. Rivers United face a congested run of matches as they shift their focus back to improving their league standing. Now, the league standing is not bad right now, because in all honesty, if my producer and my director can help me, you can see right there on the screen, yes, they have played 4 matches less, but they are still joint top with Ikorodu City, who are number 1 with 41 points. Rivers United are second with 41 points. Nasarawa United also third with 41 points as well. Enugu Rangers, Abia Warriors, and Benin Insurance just out of that top 3 bracket, but they're hoping that they can get some kind of traction with these outstanding games. So the thing about outstanding games, Udoka, is that they are just outstanding games until they've been played.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are no guarantees that you win them. And you have some difficult tasks coming up away to Kwara United, away to Shooting Stars. Tough games.
Yeah, definitely. For Rivers United, I'll just take a Bible quote. What does it profit Rivers United to win the outstanding games, qualify for CAF, only to get walloped? I mean, the inconsistency is just unbearable. Yes, they should go ahead and win the NPFL, and we'll have the same old story when the CAF Champions League comes up next year.
Oh, wow.
It's quite sad. We need to do better with our league. And for Rivers United, of course, I think they're winnable games for them. Maybe they can actually win 2 out of those games.
Of those 4?
Out of the 4 games.
No,
I'm not even worried about if they win or not. I'm only worried about the quality of the league itself, which I've always been a propagator of. The quality is low. How can a team have 4 games in hand? And
No, that's not their fault now.
No, I'm not saying that is River. I'm saying that what about the chasing pack?
Yeah.
How can a team have 4 games in hand and it's still joint top, basically, in the table? So you ask questions of the quality of the teams who are behind.
Other teams, yeah.
Then number 2, I'm not a big fan of this because you are playing continentally, you cannot play domestically. It is all shades of wrong. That is why you have a squad of probably, I think, 28 or 30 players.
Hold on, Wale. You say that these clubs should like split their squad into 2?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you can play on a weekend in the CAF Champions League and still play in the midweek.
Yeah,
we'll see. Go and check the Egyptian Premier League. We have Pyramids in a University group, right? Right?
Yeah.
Pyramids right now have only 1 outstanding game. Why don't they also have 4 outstanding games? Al-Ahly, who also play in the CAF Champions group stages, have only 1 outstanding game. Because everybody is on, I think, 15 games played. They are only probably on 14. But why are we on 21, 25? They can easily play. I know that there's also travel issues.
Exactly. Now you're talking.
I think that's the only issue.
I know that. But that is not on the league. It is on... If Rivers United, as a government club, cannot boast of having means of transportation, don't you see Rivers who pass out, they spend a lot of money there? Clubs like this should be able to invest on infrastructure. You see all these things. Make use of the government funds that make use of it really well.
Government also has other issues that they're dealing with, insecurity, education, water.
Maybe I'm even taking it too far. Talking about the EPL, where we have Champions League games, we have Carabao Cup games. But they still find a way to...
No, that's understandable because proximity-wise, everyone is closer to each other in Europe.
And transportation is really good.
Africa is very difficult in terms of navigating the terrain. But I'm only saying that having 4 games at that, even the integrity of the league itself, it's been questioned. It's been, Imagine you get into the final 4 weeks of the season, and Rivers still have games in hand.
Exactly. That's the reason United cannot even celebrate as or call themselves champions.
That's why they're trying to clear out those backlogs.
But also, that also means that Rivers are also at a disadvantage because they are playing games and games back to back and back to back.
So there's a possibility of fatigue.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's stay on the continent. The Confederation of African Football will decide the host of the 2028 Africa Cup of Nations at its executive committee meeting in Dar es Salaam tomorrow. Now we're being told that there are 3 bids that have been submitted, 1 from Morocco, another from Ethiopia, and a joint proposal from South Africa and Botswana. Now CAF aims to finalize the hosting decision properly to focus on broader strategic goals for African football. Preparations for the 2027 edition, which will be co-hosted by Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, are ongoing, with CAF inspection teams assessing stadiums, training facilities, and operational readiness until the 17th of February. And these evaluations will include playing surfaces, safety and security, and venue infrastructure. CAF emphasized that these inspections support long-term football development, world-class standards, and enhanced reputation for African football, especially the African Cup of Nations across the continent. Now, Udoka, earlier on, you actually were involved in a story. You came up with a story whereby I think even the organizers of the 2027 Africa competitions are hoping that it's going to be postponed. Because, 1, they're not ready, which raises a lot of questions, because we did see those facilities in use at Chan. Well, some are being built right now, but it also talks about the congestion of the domestic calendar across CAF, across the world, actually. Then 3, the state of these facilities, going by what you said and what you saw in Morocco, how Morocco have raised the bar incredibly high, and CAF cannot afford to lower those standards.
Definitely, and again, they're also coming up with talks about elections. One of the reasons why they are not ready to host the tournament. And I'm asking, didn't they know all of this before accepting the Kamoja bid? So there's a lot of crisis going on with hosting the tournament. We're still talking about the women's AFCON. We're not even sure if it will happen in Morocco or South Africa, because that decision is yet to be made. Now, for Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, CAF needs to go back to the drawing board and make a full-time decision to say this is the particular. We're not even sure who is going to host the 2028 Cup of Nations. So there's a whole lot to deal with when it comes to African football. Are we going to rely solely on Morocco? Well, it's looking like that. Apart from Morocco, the other countries that can host this Nations Cup comfortably would be maybe South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire.
Egypt?
I also think
Egypt.
I think it still doesn't make sense to have an AFCON 2027, 2028, then you revert to 4
years. Yeah.
See, just have one more AFCON and go back to 4 years. It's simple that
Do we even need 4 years?
It looks like the Eastern Africans are not in the mood to host this competition.
They've never hosted it since 19...
in the
I think
70s or something.
yeah.
It looks like they're not in the mood. You know what? Why don't you look at the bid? I think the South Africa, Namibia, Botswana.
Yeah.
I mean, just have something in 2028 and we can revert back to a 4-year cycle thing. Because all this back and forth, sending inspectors, I think recently or this week, another round of inspection went again to East Africa as well, and the body language. See, you see the standard we saw in Morocco. You've raised the standards. The world is watching. So if you give something substandard, then you've dragged the reputation of the AFCON into the mud. So you have to raise it. And if East Africa cannot rise up to it, then you move on.
You see that? So I'm guessing you probably are insinuating, gentlemen, that maybe there is no real political will in East Africa to host this, because you look at Morocco, what they put together. In fact, the Prince Moulay Heritage Stadium, where the final was played, currently holds the Guinness World Record for being the fastest stadium to be ever constructed. It was finished in 2 years. Now, we're having Pamoja talk about stadiums and everything, and it's going on 3 years right now, and they're not ready.
So Morocco is the 5th richest country in Africa. They've got the financial muscle. Yeah. The Eastern Africans are not in that mode yet.
They're not in that league.
Let's be very honest. They're not in that league. Another Eastern African country that showed interest, but I think was Rwanda. Rwanda also talked about but they also want to co-host as well because it's a small country. They're not too sure it can take in. But the time to get all of these things ready. Hosted an AFCON is not CHAN. Don't forget that this CHAN was hosted by these three nations as well. But AFCON comes at a bigger scale. So it's not something you just wake up in the morning and say you want to host. So I think that CAF, who already have thought about even cancelling AFCON 2027, should probably go back to that idea, cancel it, and let's just have one in 2028 and go back to 4 years cycle.
Oh, wow. Anyway, let's move to Europe now, where there's quite a lot going on. The coaching merry-go-round is in full effect. We heard that Nottingham Forest are close to appointing former Wolves manager Victor Pereira as their new head coach following the dismissal of Sean Dyche. Dyche was sacked after a goalless draw with bottom-placed Wolves, which left Forest just 3 points above the relegation zone with 12 games to play. Talks between Forest and Pereira have advanced with an agreement reportedly near. The 57-year-old Portuguese coach previously worked under Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis at Olympiacos, and Pereira helped Wolves avoid relegation last season after joining mid-campaign, but was dismissed in November after a poor start. Is he the man that they should be looking forward to?
Yeah, he's got a good relationship with Marinakis. Yeah, when they were Olympiacos, it was a brief stint. And we also know that Pereira did good things with Wolves in terms of helping them escaping relegation. So his reputation is a bit more intact, but he also has to look at the lay of the land. Forest have sacked 3 managers already this season. In fact, it looks like that's the surest route to riches. Just get the job and you get
sacked and you get the payout.
3 months and you get a payout.
Well, the owner Marinakis is actually a billionaire, so he has no problem paying.
Oh, that should not be a problem for any manager who wants to take it.
In fact, I think he should probably be his sporting director.
No, he's taking my mantra, he's taking
his philosophy.
In fact, he's the only person I know that has taken it really seriously in terms of, because people forget when I said that when it's not working well, you sack the manager. But they forget the part. When it's not working well, you sack the manager, right? If you bring another manager that's not working well, you sack him again. That is what Marinakis...
But what about the sporting director? What about the people behind the scenes who are also helping in recruiting?
The truth matter is like saying that you want to... Can you sack the players?
No, you can't sack the players.
So one guy has to take the can. And there are some times when the sporting director also, his head is also on the stick. Sometimes it happens that way. But for Marinakis, it is not sustainable. I think that Sean Dyche was doing a decent job. In fact, out of the 3 managers, he had the best run.
And he's also an experienced relegation battler.
Exactly.
We worked with Burnley back in the day. So
I think they should have actually left Sean Dyche up until the end of the season. I don't think Nottingham Forest to get relegated from the EPL this season. Just leave Sean Dyche then maybe give him what he wants during the summer and see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Having 4 managers in a season is chaotic.
Well, England are sticking with their manager. We heard that they've announced that Thomas Tuchel has signed a new deal that will keep him in charge until 2028, when England will host the Euros alongside Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Having taken over the role in January 2025, Tuchel led the Three Lions to a successful World Cup qualification campaign for this year's tournament, topping Group K with 8 wins from 8 matches, 22 goals scored, none conceded, and he will lead them into the World Cup as one of the favorites. The 2020 European Championship finals are being hosted, like I said, by the home nations of England, Wales, Scotland, Republic of Ireland, and it's understood that Tuchel will definitely be part of that, because the FA are intent on ensuring that continuity is in place and remove any speculation about Tuchel's future heading into the World Cup. But I have to come to you guys again, because I want to situate this with what is happening with Eric Chelle. Now, Eric Chelle has a year to go on his contract. We're hearing that, we're not hearing anything definite. At one point, we heard that the NSC are in negotiations with him. Then we heard Ibrahim Gouzo, the NFF president, saying that this is the best place for him to be. But if that is the truth, they should match words with action. The same way with Thomas Tuchel having 1 year to go, they quickly extended his contract. What is delaying the NFF from extending Eric Chelle's contract, Udoka?
There are no tournaments to prepare for, and maybe we don't even have the money to pay Eric Chelle. And I'm also hearing comments about saying he should not go to Olympic Marseille. If the reports that we're hearing are true, that he is one of the candidates to take over, I think it's far-fetched going over to Olympic Marseille. But look, if he wants to go to
far-fetched?
If he's been called to take over to Olympic Marseille, then go there and take over. I mean,
he should do it for Boashi.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
If Ivory Coast coach Marseille, then our coach can also go to Marseille. Remember him?
Yeah, of course. He's passed on,
yeah. I can't remember his name again. Yeah. But if he is able to go and coach Marseille, it's possible. But like you said, NFF, match words with action.
Definitely.
And do the work quickly. Because, see, we are also going through a period where a lot of clubs will be needing managers. And
Summer is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, and I think what the FA have done is smart. There are a lot of managers who are going to be available. A lot of clubs also will be looking for managers. Spurs are looking for a manager, aren't they? We don't know if Manchester United are still going to be looking for a manager outside of Marco Card. So everyone is just trying to, seal the deal with their managers. And I think that Nigeria also should take that. And Chelle is looking. What is happening? Are you going to offer me an upgrade?
And he's been calm about the whole situation, though.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So if you were Eric Chelle's agent now, Udoka, what would you be saying? Would you be telling me, Oga, let's start looking for a club? Maybe we should talk to Olympic Marseille, or maybe we should put fire under the behinds of the Nigeria Football Federation in order to stay in place?
I think I would advise Eric Chelle to stay put with the Nigeria Football Federation up until the summer. If nothing tangible is done, then take a chance and go elsewhere.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Wale,
his stock is high. When your stock is high, you need to cash in on it. That's mistake some people have made. People like Stanley Wabali, Sunday Mba, remember? When your stock is high, you cash in on it. Chelle knows the stock is high right now. He needs to start looking around. I think it was linked to Tunisia, it was linked to Gabon as well. But even while you're looking around, you also have to look at what you have currently. Are you better off staying put?
Yeah, better behind the road, two in the bush.
Yeah, exactly. If I have Marseille and I have Super Eagles, we already know who I'm taking, right?
But if are you taking?
Super Eagles?
I'm going to the Velodrome, bro.
Okay. At least we know where you stand as sporting director anyway. Let's also talk about something that's been really, really sad regarding a certain a former Arsenal player who now plays for Villarreal, Thomas Partey, Ghanaian international midfielder, has been formally charged with 2 additional counts of rape by the UK's Crown Prosecution Service, marking a significant development in the ongoing legal saga surrounding the Ghanaian. The new charges stem from an earlier complaint to police alleging offences dating back to 2020 before those previously reported and involve an additional woman. The Metropolitan Police said the latest accusations are being treated as non-recent offences following a fresh investigation. Partey is scheduled to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on the 13th of March in 2026. In relation to these new counts, the 32-year-old who now plays in Spain with La Liga club Villarreal had already been facing a separate set of serious charges. Gentlemen, when will footballers learn? That is the question I have to ask you, Udoka. When will they learn that they are a soft target and they should really, really be of the utmost best behavior?
I honestly do not know. It's quite sad. This has been going on for a couple of years now. Since he was at Arsenal and going over to Villarreal, it has still not left him. And he's not the first person it has happened to. It has happened to other football players. And I really do not know when it to stop. I just hope that he gets out of this case and still has the focus on football, because the last game Villarreal played, he was quite absent. I even heard commentators saying that maybe because of the rape cases that he has had, he's not been in top shape for Villarreal, but he's still
you can imagine. So, I mean, anyone with legal troubles of that
stuff like that, it means that it is deeper than we even know. But I just hope he comes out of this and still be able to focus on football and be the star player that he is.
Okay, well, one man is trying to rediscover his career, or rebuild his career. Former Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, and England forward Raheem Sterling, we hear he has joined Feyenoord in the Dutch Eredivisie as a free agent after terminating his contract with Chelsea in January 2026. The England international joins the Eredivisie club on a 6-month deal. He's 31 years old, spent last season on loan at Arsenal, but struggled for game time and form with the Gunners. He'll be looking to revive his career with a successful spell in the Netherlands with Robin van Persie, who's coach of Feyenoord, and hoping to force his way to Thomas Tuchel's England team. Where did he go wrong for Raheem Sterling?
Nothing really went wrong. I think Raheem Sterling is criminally... We see him as a yesterday's man. Why? Because he started really early. When Raheem started at 17 at Queen's Park Rangers, went to Liverpool, was a phenomenal player, almost won the league title with them. Went to City, turned to a goal-scoring monster, won Premier League titles back-to-back under Pep Guardiola. He's done his bit. He's got nothing to prove to anyone. You know, went to Chelsea, I know it was underwhelming. Went to Arsenal, thought he could revive himself, and nothing really happened. Right now, he's got nothing to prove. He's just trying to get games. He's not forcing anything to Thomas Tuchel. He knows he's not going to the World Cup or the Euros. He knows it's done. But right now, he just needs to keep on playing football. Then he offers leadership. He's also got a lot of things he's doing outside of the game as well, in terms of offering mentorship and all of that. For young kids. He must have taken a huge pay cut.
I can imagine.
To go over to the Eredivisie.
Over 300,000
He's the highest paid player at Chelsea. Wow. So if he's left Chelsea and gone to final, you know he's taking a massive pay cut. But he just wants to continue getting.
I think we should forget about making Thomas Tuchel's team. He can't.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for coming through tonight on Game On. Wale Adigu, Udoka Ojoku, thank you so much. And to my producer, my director, everyone behind the scenes who made this possible, thank you so much as well. But before we go, let's tell you that Kazu Yoshimura, the world's oldest professional footballer at 58 years and 346 days, rolled back the years by starting Fukushima United's season opener against Venfort Kofu on the 7th of February. The game took him into a remarkable 41st professional season. Kazu, as his King Kazu, as he's fondly called, turns 59 on the 26th of February. Later this month, he signed a loan deal until June with Japanese third division side Fukushima United, making it the first time in 5 years since Miura last played in the top 3 divisions of Japanese football. You know what they say, old soldier never die. Thank you so much again for joining us. Game On makes a return tomorrow night. Until then, my name is Babatunde Koiki. Wish you a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.